George, there's been a lot of young people today that are very passionate about the game, about sports, who have not been successful. Would you like to tell us, how are you different? How are you different in that aspect that you were able to make it?
To be honest, I wasn't the best athlete to come out of my high school my senior year. But the one word I will use is the word resilient. And that's something I live by. That means I overcame a lot. When things weren't going my way, I refused to give up. I figured out ways how to overcome those obstacles.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I see happening now. A lot of kids, they don't want to work for what they really want. They talk about what they want to do. But at the same time, they're not willing to put the time in, the effort in. And as for me, when I got to Wake Forest, I was on the depth chart. I was kind of deep on the depth chart. It wasn't forecasted as being a starter, but at the same time, I worked my butt off. First year, I got redshirted, but then after that, I ended up starting every year as far as Wake Forest. But, even though I had made All-ACC 2 straight years, was an All-American my senior year, I still didn't get invited to the combines, which is where all the top college players go so they can evaluate your talent to play in the NFL. So that didn't happen. Draft day came, I had an agent, he was thinking, late rounds, but it didn't happen. So I ended up signing on as a free agent with the New Orleans Saints in 1993. So I went to New Orleans. I was having a pretty good camp, but then the very first preseason game, we were playing in Japan, and I hurt my knee. And from there, I tore my PCL, one of the ligaments in my left knee, and ended up being placed on injured reserve. When you're on injured reserve, you have to be there for the entire year during that span. So I was there the entire year. I came back in 1994. Thought I was having a good preseason again, but they didn't think I was, so they decided to keep some other safeties. So I was cut. So in 1994, August, I remember flying back in. I still remember I went to my buddy's house in Richmond because honestly, I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. I didn't want to come back to Fredericksburg because I've been so used to winning and things going my way that to have someone say you're not good enough, it shocked me. And so I stayed down there for a couple of days with my buddy. Ended up getting a call from the Fredericksburg school system, in fact, to work at Walker Grant Middle School. So I accepted the position as a PE teacher, but I told them if something happens with football, will they let me out of their contract? They agreed upon that. So I went to work at Walker Grant. Had to humble myself because a lot of people thought you were still this NFL player. They're like, why are you working here in the school system? I'm like, I'm working. That's something you got to do because sports aren't guaranteed. So I worked and through February, got a call from the World League, and that was a league that just started back up, and a team out of Scotland drafted me. And so it's just a 10-game season. You go overseas, but it's a chance to play football. But what a lot of people didn't know is, okay, I was playing that league, but at the same time, they only pay you like $16,000. People still think you're making millions and whatnot. So I'm making $16,000. So once the season was over in June, when I came back, I had to work. And so I would do different things, whether it's substitute teaching, whether it was working, delivering doors and windows, working in just different places, doing installation. I did so many different things. I still remember being on my knees, banging out nails out of a floor, concrete floor, just to keep that dream alive because, I knew I could play, but at the same time, I didn't want to, dive into the workforce. So I did that for 3 straight years. I went to Scotland from 95, 96, and 97. And right about that 3rd year in Scotland is when a lot happened. And that's when my mom passed away. And I still remember to this day talking, the last conversation I had with her, I told her I was going to play in the NFL. And I was going to keep that promise. And I don't care what I had to do to make that happen, it was going to happen. And so that summer, it was probably a month after she passed away, I got a call from Denver and said they wanted to bring me out there for a trial. But the thing was, they had 9 safeties already on their roster. So I'm like, what good am I going to be out there? But still, it was a chance. It was a chance for me to keep living my dream and keeping my promise to my mom. So I went out to Denver, had a great workout, flew back home. They didn't sign me that day, but I still remember a 4th-round draft choice held out. And I know football, 4th-round draft choice don't hold out for more money. But this guy did, and that gave me my in route. And so I ended up getting in Denver, and at the same time, the first year, I wasn't on the active roster, but I was on the practice roster. So I got a chance to practice with all the guys, and we would show the opposing teams plays. But you were a part of the team, you just couldn't play on Sundays. And I was very fortunate to get that done. And the following year, I ended up making the team and ended up playing it again in the Super Bowl. And so that's my struggle. Not struggle, but that's my story. But at the same time, it wasn't easy. I mean, countless nights of staying up, studying, sprints. When people know it, not my family members, my sister, my brother, and the closest people to me in this world. But a lot of things I had to go through, they don't know to this day. Running in the snow and not eating sometimes, between things. It's just, that's the way it happened. But I kept my eyes on the prize. I was resilient. I refused to give in to the circumstances that were around me. And instead of give in, I worked harder. And that hard work paid off. And that's why I feel I'm in the position I am today, being a person who's holding 2 Super Bowl rings, a couple state championship rings, a World Bowl ring, and Independence Bowl ring from college. So it's just hard work pays off.